Within this tiny unassuming island, I will put hundreds of dinosaurs like large herbivores grazing the green fields to the vicious carnivores that lurk the rocky ones. Beautiful valleys, giant bottomless lakes that may or may not have monsters waiting to strike, and sudden pits that would trap you in forever. This island is not only dangerous but randomly generated. And today we're doing a small experiment to see what 100+ dinosaurs do inside this one island in Jurassic World Evolution 3 within only 5 hours. Will the island's ecosystem fail terribly, or will they survive and create new generations over the years? Well, to see the wild array of new prehistoric creatures and features we have today, we first have to make the island. With this new island generation feature, I tweak things like shape, trees, waters, mountains to make the ideal small island for my evil mad experiment. This video is brought to you by Frontier, who gave me early access to Jurassic World Evolution 3 and features like generating a few island options to pick one out and create this vast ecosystem completely out of nothing, and will be the perfect canvas to make natural structures like this rocky water spring, smoothing land for easy dino access, and not forgetting to add food sources and walls around the entire island. It's so cool that I can make like waterfalls with one swipe. Anyways, while all this was happening, we got eager carnivores waiting to come out. But before that, we have some early dinosaurs that have been establishing into the ecosystem so far, like the graceful sauropod Apatosaurus that emerged and had started to roam the island's plains, alongside their other grass-eating friends like the herd of bright Parasaurolophus and some Lokiceratops showing off their flashy head crests. They've had their fill eating the shrubbery around, and there's plenty to share with the frill-tailed Protoceratops and the beefy Mutaburasaurus. And to that, I say nothing. What's up, Muta, with you? Well, anyways, after the big herbivores, we also have the agile ones, like the Ornithomimus, where the fluffy pull floaty necks might make it one of my favorites. And to the parents, who will have to hold their eggs closely because the oviraptors are also coming in, notorious for stealing eggs. And last but definitely not the least is Earl, all back and handsome in a new game. And we will give him a wifey soon enough too, along with the second wave of dinosaurs. You see, we'll be slowly introducing batches of different kinds of dinosaurs as we go. So in the meantime, I drive my We Here Jeep into the island to nudge our scared new friends straight into the depths of this vast island environment. It's actually a pretty useful tool to have when— oh, and there it goes. And so the experiment begins. Early on, the fields are troubled by the some herbivores who are fighting for territory, butting their heads to see which plot of ferns and grass they can win over, or in these guys' cases, which of their tail hairs are bigger. I don't know dino politics. Even so, their worries are not that big without any carnivores yet to be placed in, which of course is coming real soon. Right now it's territories, and many of them build groups to come around and find places to settle, reminding you that today, each of the structures will be claimed and named according to which dinosaurs rule it, putting some realism into the experiment of ours today, especially in the end where we'll have the human creation, where we'll see how a human-made hybrid will test against the environments of Jurassic World Evolution 3. But yes, we have the Triceratops too, who seem to have piqued some interest in a cove pouring from rock pools above, while on the other hand, other herbivores rally into a dense grove around two big lakes between them. The claim to this spot comes from a female Parasaurolophus, heavy-footed and stumbling into a little cluster of soil and plants. And oh my god, already we found some eggs inside them. Our nest worked, and I can't believe Jurassic World Evolution has actual babies now. The other Parasaurs sensed the calls of a new parent and slowly gathered around this grove. So I stood and stared at the frail eggs and watched as the warmness of the sun hatched them into baby dinosaurs, a tiny pod of baby parasaurings adorably waddling out with their crests just still a baby little stump. They run around their little grove and play in the damp dirt just around their parents. Seeing them born honestly makes me want to protect them with my whole life, which makes me worried when they stray too far away from their protectors. Don't worry, little puppies, I won't let anything come and hurt you, trust me. Wait, what's next in the agenda for this experiment again? Oh god. Entering the island is the first ever Guanlong, pretty medium in size, but its name has the Chinese meaning of crown dragon, if that's not cool enough. These sharp-toothed, agile feathered raptors will be the first to terrorize the undergrowth, but these next few won't be just terrorizing the forest floor. The Allosaurus, now fleshed out with more details and even rougher scales and skin. The ruthlessness of the Allosaurus can be felt by the deep steps of this strong carnivore, and its effect can be seen in new Ankylosaurus and Gallimimus who run straight away from the start. I mean, especially seeing the chompers on the pretty chonky Metriocanthosaurus to top off the carnivores for this phase. Mixed with the herbivores who had been living amazingly, this might be a recipe for disaster. And I don't think they're looking for a friend. As the Allosaurus approaches the forest line, their eyes met a king's rock with a big source of meat I placed earlier, and it looks like they'll be staying here for a minute. Back in the grove and forest, the Parasaurolophus is focused on nurturing the young, and we got even more babies popping out of the nest around. They've been busy alright, and evidently so did the Mutaburasaurus. Group comes over to get a slice of the spot and resting all over the area, cozy enough to lay a few eggs of their own too. Luckily, the carnivores have not not reach here yet, and the Allosaurus instead takes this little hideout in the hidden nook just on the edge with a nice lake. With the female taking a nice morning nap, they can't be too careful with an upcoming releasing of fish eaters soon. Even so, I'm only human, so I check all the nests nearby for some baby allo eggs, but to no avail. Hopefully they can make amends and babies pretty soon. See, even the Mutabaras are doing well in the baby business. Later in the forest also where a bunch of Orthomimus pairs had picked up their nests for their own babies as well, laying a huge clutch of eggs. And just as they hatch, oh boy, their babies are fast runners as chicks. And the grove will be the perfect place for them to play around. With the abundance of babies, I felt the ecosystem needs more variety, so I started releasing more dinosaurs. Did I mention the synthesizing menu now has a way to pronounce the dinosaurs where you can click this button and get to
Oviraptor, Oviraptor, Oviraptor.
Alright, enough. I've been releasing a bunch of these new dinosaurs in, and that had forced our ceratopsians to sort of wander over this cove, crashing pools that form into big large spas, and the horned herbivores wanted it. This will be claimed as the Ceratopsian Cove, and obviously there will be some fighting to be the big dog of this area. Anyways, I was browsing around, and other than the surprise baby batch of oviraptors that have a great big oogly boogly eyes and head, it was clear from the heat map that no dinosaurs are going past the big lake we have in the middle, just stopping at the grove. And I've got just the right batch of dinosaurs that will change the entire dynamic of the ecosystem. But oh, what is that? From the map, it looks like the hideout nest is hiding some eggs, and with a mother who is honestly, my gosh, you are always sleeping, and a papa drinking after a good celebration. This must be Allosaurus eggs. And I was right, they came out with big funny feet and a roar of an apex predator. Let's hope these bitey siblings will survive hunting their early days. So yeah, where was I? Oh yeah. Okay, so fish eaters is about to be put into the island, which should make sense because islands typically have a lot of fish, but whatever. Luckily, the fish eaters in the prehistoric age is much more vicious. So first entering is a fresh pack of Suchomimus with amazingly patterned skin that looks great in this game. Their bellows will be accompanied by the shrieks of the cruder looking Baryonyx, showing off a more rugged complexion than the last game. And finally, needing no introduction, is the Spinosaurus, and gosh, look how amazing it looks. They now will head into the island ecosystem, and I know they eat fish, but they can hunt big prey too if they want. Everything is about to change. And immediately, in the Ceratopsian riddled cove, the Spinosaurus takes the initiative to find a pool with fish. This was where he wanted, and he drove everyone away from it, killing a Suchomimus straight away to establish territory. A Loki Ceratops lay dead just by the side, and we probably know the culprit too. While for the Suchomimus, taking the territory is not so easy, with the Stegosaurus basically beating him to a pulp. In fact, the Papa Allosaurus can be seen meeting the same fate. And I did not catch this, but the male Allosaurus adult will fall to its death from the wounds later on, leaving the Allosaurus babies to be alone with mama, finding an oasis just below the lake to claim for their own. Here, the frogs and lizards they hunt will help them grow big for now. In the meantime, even the Triceratops are weeding off the annoying fish eaters. For now, they'll let the Spino take his meal until he decides otherwise, while the Metriocanthosaurus found a stranger way for food, eating baby oviraptors coming down from the hills. Poor babies, but oh well, they got a whole factory going. But the oviraptor fought back with a little system they have too, to eat out the meat pile below the mountains while the Metriocanthosaurus sleeps. They form mischievous parties and celebrate large feasts until none is left. Even the baby is doing it, oh my god. Well, that's if the big guy doesn't spoil the party first. Stand very still. Oh, and did I mention I released a female Lystrosaurus to be the wedded wife of young Earl. As she runs in excitement, I shall name her Girl. You know, like girl. But well, they finally met each other and already running for a great future. Oh wait, look, a Guanlong looking for a nest. I wonder what it's looking for. The nest is right. Wait, no, girl. Oh my god, no. Close your eyes, Earl. Well, that was I hope Earl didn't see that. It's a sad day, but unfortunately I'll have to make it worse because it is now time for more carnivores. Yeah, don't complain. You're the one who wants more chaos. Our second wave of meat eaters are here already, and close to our impending human creation released. The herbivores deep in the woods are the ones mostly thriving so far, procreating like crazy and dominating the forests. So into the island to challenge this is firstly the Herrerasaurus, silky with grit as usual, but now comes with a new haircut. It's kinda gross. So we'll pair that with the more clever Utahraptor that will charge into the habitat. We got one more coming, but already the new carnivores are stressing old ones and pushing previous ones to hunt. The Protoceratops finally finding a nest too, and the strong-willed Papa defending their bush from riled-up raptors too. Must be tiring, I know. With Earl being clearly depressed, our baby Allosaurus had grown a tad bit bigger and had been staying throughout the oasis their whole life. Now they circle their mama, who is surprise still asleep, but later on finally matured into an adult to be able to protect their own mother. Both of them looking strong, with this one resembling its late father. Will they move away from the oasis? Well, tension grows in the Ceratopsian Cove as Baryonyxes and Suchomimus still tries to take over. They never seem successful with giant Triceratops guarding it. But let's see if our last carnivore can. Always my favorite pick to start some chaos, the Carnotaurus. These hard-headed rough giants had came out and quickly taking out the competitions they see firsthand. Smaller carnivores took the action in unison, killing small herbivores and straight up gulping ones that are just out and about. The Carnos shoot bigger, being the first to go for a Parasaurolophus for a massive meal, and fighting the fish eaters. And the lack of food inspires the Parasaurs to be a big option in the food chain. For some like the Utahraptor, a nice rocky home with the Oviraptors promises a good life. After this release of the second wave of carnivores, many of our old residents fight within their own space to re-establish territories. And it's not all too bad, with some like the Guanlong who have finally laid some eggs because of this. And their babies might be my favorite with big bug eyes and look super naughty. On the waters, the big lake had been claimed by something else, the Spinosaurus, who had been checking out the giant lake and is to no surprise is the one who claimed it. Swimming in a giant pool, catching fish in his leisure time, I can't see him ever getting out, so the mainland on the other hand is obviously with the Carnotaurus. While the yellow Allosaurus are now hunting Gallimimuses on the plains, a Carno walks slowly away from a giant rock structure looking suspicious, where it is actually a nest I placed earlier with 2 cute eggs inside. I was surprised to see later how giant-headed the baby Carnos are. Like, oh my gosh, how are you supposed to balance that head on that body? Nonetheless, these naughty rascals run and play around with their brothers, with parents hunting the little guys for them, even fatally wounding an Apatosaurus 2 a bit later for a big meal. They're living a pretty chill life, being defended and only needing to worry about not being squished to death. Unluckily for them, in this nighttime, they won't know, but in the morning I'll be releasing a deadly hybrid you guys will all know. The Indominus Rex. Again, like good old Keenling fashion, an ecosystem is not truly one without humans ruining everything. So I'll set this guy free for a period of time. Quickly, the giant merciless hybrid head to the forest and wait. With the herbivores clueless, a little Joey tried to warn the adults, sensing something dangerous but no one listened, until it jumped right out, killing a Carnotaurus right off the bat, clawing its face to the ground. And right after, an Ornithomimus who had been outrunning everyone met the same fate. Oh, he got knocked over. What the? You're alive? Okay bro, you gotta run away like right now. You're about to be head-butted to death. Okay, never mind. It was bloodshed, grabbing anyone who are out in the field. And the last of the sauropod had its leg bitten until it can't walk anymore too, leaving it to rest for good. It was hard to see, and even so, seeing the mama Allosaurus eager to guard her children, getting destroyed by the Indominus Rex also. After our hybrid of ours here had its fill stuffing its stomach, it goes for the Carnotaurus one last time, and they tried to fight back but to no avail. What shocked me the most was when it flung a baby Carno. Oh my god, no. My baby. Oh wait, it stood up. Let's go, baby. Oh, well, there he goes for good. So sad. Well, as the hybrid falls to the ground as sunset gleams over the land, I think it's time to conclude this event. I took the hybrid away and looked back into the island. It looks like life will recover after all. The Loki Ceratops are still fighting, and the remaining Carnotaurus population produce more of these giant-headed Carno babies, still from the same nest and still mimicking their adults. The Guanlong babies are still surviving and with a proud mama now in the hideout, and our 2 Allosaurus are still going strong, going back to their oasis where they'll know they'll be safe, sleeping in a flowery patch just like their mother, remembering her. The Spino takes one last dip in the lake that is obviously all his, and that quick little experiment just shows how fast an ecosystem can rise and fall. Even so, there's so much left to discover on Jurassic World Evolution 3, so try out the games for yourself guys. Thank you so much for watching.
King, 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 ling.